Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Valerie Matisse, and today I'm just inviting you guys to join me in my experience of cold plunging. I started contrast therapy back in May, which is just a hybrid of utilizing heat and cold temperatures to help regulate your circulation and your nervous system. So prior to cold plunging, I usually spend about 30 minutes in the sauna. There are a lot of physical benefits to contrast therapy, but personally, I think the greatest benefit for me is the mental clarity and reconnecting to my body. This brings me to something I don't think is talked about often as it should be, in my opinion, and that's the necessity to heal through disassociation while on a healing journey or cycle or periods of spiritual awakening, which personally I think they are one and the same. If you are spiritually expanding, healing is required, and vice versa. Disassociation is a mental process where a person disconnects from their thoughts, feelings, memories, or a sense of identity, and it's often a coping mechanism in response to trauma, stress, or overwhelming situations. And this allows the person to detach from reality to avoid emotional pain. I personally think this is something that happens a lot along the spiritual journey because your world as you know it is changing. I think as you start to heal and grow, you start to see the relationships you've had, the job, the career, the things that you've obtained, you start to see it a little differently. And to me, you get to see what they are versus what you want them to be. And so it is kind of a earth-shattering experience to kind of watch your view of life change, and sometimes that can be painful and hard to accept. Also, I think the shadow work of having to take accountability for all the ways that you've actually hurt and neglected yourself is also something hard to deal with, because a lot of the time within the healing journey, initially, I think we go through periods where we are looking for someone else to validate our experiences, and that turns into kind of victimhood of placing the blame on those we feel have hurt us. And I think there is a point where we have to acknowledge that no, we're not responsible for the trauma itself, but it is our responsibility to heal it. And I think that takes a level of accountability that sometimes is a hard pill to swallow. And I think because of that, you start to see people create and strive for this utopia or new earth experience and create this idea of themselves in their life that is completely disassociated from the reality that they're living in. Now, this is not to say that we can't dream of a newer and better life, but I do think we only get there by being in our current experience and starting to take aligned actions to that utopia. So I think a good question is, who would I be in this dream life? And what are the daily actions I do in this life that help sustain it? And once you have that, I think you can begin to implement it in your daily life currently. So you can begin doing those things now, because that allows you to be in the experience of what you dream of. Because we may dream of this perfect life where we live in this house and have these types of friends and get to have this type of money in the bank, but it is not actually the things that we want. It is the emotional fulfillment we want to feel. And so the house could represent feelings of safety and security. The friends can represent being seen and accepted for your true authentic self. The money can represent the worthiness of abundance, which I think all of those desires can be and are available to us now if we allow ourselves to open up to them. And I think just implementing small ways of cultivating those emotions daily is how we get to that utopia in that dream life. And so I say all this to say being present in the here and now is a way to heal through those moments of disassociation when we want to escape what we're currently feeling. And I think cold plunging has been one of the best ways and practices for myself in doing that, because it is something that happens within the 2 to 3 minute mark of being in the cold bath that just reconnects you with your body, and your body begins to self-regulate and adapt to the cold temperature. And I think in that it brings you to a place of stillness and present that just allows that nervous system connection of clearing what has been kind of on backlog. And I think this process is a way to reconnect with the body and reality, and it teaches the brain to stay home within itself and how to move through moments of discomfort. So my thought process with this is, if I can stay here in this cold bath fighting through the very cold ass thoughts of it's cold as fucking here, I can also stay home with myself when I feel emotionally overwhelmed and triggered. And I use this tool as a way to implement this throughout my life. So you too can use this as a sign to begin a practice that helps you do the same. I hope this was helpful. If so, let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.